Coming up, keeping goats safe the Great Pyrenees way. This New Zealand hunt-away herds deer with his voice. And Mike sniffs out if it's real or fake. Northern California is cougar country. In the past 2 years, farmer Rex Morovic has lost 15 goats to cougar attacks. At this time of year, cougars are fattening up for winter. These goats need a guardian angel. Heavenly Angel is an 18-month-old Great Pyrenees. She and her guarding partner, Marshall, used to guard sheep together. Angel and Marshall lost their jobs and home when their owner could no longer keep them. Angel has had a particularly rough year. This job would give them both a second chance.
What a good dog.
Debbie Carpatus is the head of the rescue organization that saved Angel and Marshall.
Angel was abused, she was mistreated, she was not loved. She was 66 pounds, emaciated, had just had a litter of mixed breed pups, shy, timid, not very trusting.
Before coming to Rex's farm, a placement in a temporary home allowed her to thrive.
She's gained probably 15 or 20 pounds. She's playful, rambunctious. She's really come a long way in a short period of time.
Now, Debbie's goal is to find a permanent placement where Angel and Marshall can do the work they were born to do, guard livestock.
So what you're going to do is you're going to pick up her feet,
Okay.
and you're going to pinch the skin in between her toes. We test the dogs. We pinch their sides, we poke them in the ribs, we pull their tails, we pinch between their toes, because if a goat is going to headbutt them or run into them accidentally, we don't need the dogs attacking the livestock out of pain.
She doesn't even seem to be minding that.
She doesn't care.
Livestock guardian dogs protect their flock because they see them as their family. But Angel and Marshall grew up with sheep as their family. Adapting to goats may prove too challenging. If the dogs don't succeed, they won't stay with Rex, and Debbie will need to find another placement.
They need to be where they could sniff each other, get used to the sounds of the goats, the feeding schedule, all of the interactions that happen around the goats, and only taken out of that pen when they're on a leash, so then they can be corrected for bad behavior.
Rex learned the hard way why the dog's introduction to the goats must be gradual.
I was unaware that I was supposed to keep him on a leash for at least 2 weeks. And I came out, opened the gate. Marshall was fine. Angel took off like a shot and was right after those goats. The goats freaked, took off running, and the dog was having a heyday until Marshall came to the goats' rescue. When Marshall came to the goats' rescue, Angel quickly stopped.
Lesson learned. Rex makes sure his son Tim has a grip on things before taking Angel out.
They're pretty wild, Tim. They're pretty wild. Okay. Okay, remember, wrap this around your hand twice.
Okay, I got it.
We encourage the dogs to drink from the goat's water so that they get the taste, the flavor, the smell of the goats. They get used to the scent of the goats, and the goats get used to them.
Although most Great Pyrenees have guarding in their blood, they're not all suited to the job. Unlike sheep, these goats try to play with the dogs and will even headbutt them. Angel and Marshall have to learn to move away without retaliating or joining the game. It's decision day for Angel and Marshall. This afternoon, they'll be let off their leads. To be effective guard dogs, the pair must believe these goats are their herd and the area within the fence their territory. They learn to mark the boundaries. The scent marks will be the first line of protection against cougars.
That's it. Check your territory, Angel. Check your territory.
The Great Pyrenees originated in the Pyrenees Mountains that separate France from Spain. In the south of France, they guarded castles for the nobility and flocks for the peasants. Although the dogs are known for their strength and keen hearing, their essential traits are confidence, fearlessness, and willingness to protect the flock at any cost. A single dog is vulnerable to a cougar attack, but a pair can better defend the herd. Cougar season is upon them, so Rex is anxious for the dogs to be part of the goat family.
Then I can start integrating them into where this is your job, dogs. Take care of these. Take the pressure off of my head, watching for the cougars and the bears and all of the other coyotes and varmints that I don't want to be eating my livestock.
Great Pyrenees will bark through a fence to deter predators, but Angel barks at anything, including the neighbor's dog.
She's the one that initiates the aggression. He's quick to discipline her, though. He will growl at her and tell her to back off, and she does. As they grow and mature, their roles could reverse. She could become very alpha, very in charge, and he may take the back seat.
This is a good dog. This is a friend. This is a friend. Good girl.
See if he goes in.
Boy.
Angel and Marshall will be let off leash with the goats for the first time since the chasing mishap. After 4 weeks of acclimatization, it's time to see if Angel will be a guardian with a job for life or a homeless goat chaser.
All right, you ready?
There you go.
Angel immediately gets butted, but she doesn't retaliate.
They're not on a rope, and they are happy. For them to just be able to go run and play and just be free, what a joy. What a joy. And it's quite exciting for me. They're already walking the perimeter. This is what they're for.
This is just awesome. To know where they came from, the abuse that they took, and now they're free. They're doing their job.
Angel keeps a watchful eye. She's got it under control.
Total success.
Or does she? Angel can't resist playing. Marshall, the responsible one, steps in.
I am worried that Angel's going to continue this behavior, but not as worried as I would be if she had been barking, nipping at the heels, being aggressive towards the goats. Marshall took care of it. There might be some instances, but I don't think that it'll progress.
Still, Angel can't be trusted alone with the goats just yet.
She needs some more guidance. She can play with Marshall. She can't play with the goats. And she needs to understand that.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen, all for free. No subscription required. Download Veely now.
Marshall is allowed to roam free, but Angel's still on probation.
Good dog. That's it. Good girl.
But Debbie and Rex are confident that in a few more weeks, Angel will help Marshall protect the new herd from cougars, bears, and other predators.
It's gonna work. I have no doubt that it'll work. You know, these dogs are gonna succeed.
The North Island of New Zealand is known for its geysers, hot springs, and thermal lakes with steaming turquoise water. There's a different kind of steam on Andy Mitchell's farm. This steam is a 5-year-old New Zealand huntaway.
He's an athlete. He enjoys his work, so he's ready to go.
Although Steam is a champion sheep herder, Andy recently bought the dog to teach him to herd deer. Andy's new 400-acre farm has over 1,000 head. Deer eat a lot and need to be moved to fresh pastures every few days. Andy couldn't run the farm without Steam's help.
Steam does his job using his voice. He barks at them, so we put him in a position on a hill or in a field where he's pushing the deer away from himself using his voice.
Steam arrived only 2 months ago, but quickly established his alpha position.
There was a battle for supremacy, and that lasted 5 minutes. And he took over as the #1 dog from there.
New Zealand is the world leader in deer farming. They're raised for their low-fat meat and for their velvet antlers, which are exported to Asia for use in traditional medicines and tonics. Every morning, Andy drives to work with his 2 main workmates, Steam and Smoke, a New Zealand heading dog. Smoke has trouble on hilly terrain and isn't as comfortable with deer. That's why Andy needs Steam to get up to speed fast. Huntaways are extremely vocal, but Steam is supposed to be quiet near people.
Steam has an annoying, quirky little habit where he sits in the back of the motorbike trailer and half barks. Because he only does it when he's keen to work and we're travelling to do a job. But Steam's got the very annoying habit. Get in, Steam.
Steam has to move this mob of stags to the velveting shed so their antlers can be removed. But these deer are nothing like Bambi.
Deer will attack a dog and pound a dog with their front feet, and generally it breaks their back and you have to put the dog down.
Deer are unpredictable, and trouble is always just a hair's breadth away.
Get in, Steam. Deer are very intelligent. They know what they want to do, they know what they don't want to do, and they're dangerous. After all, they've only been domesticated in the farming environment for 25 years. You need to give the deer more opportunity to learn what you want them to do, because if you try and force them to do something, they'll either panic or they'll attack the dog.
It's mid-morning. Steam has no trouble herding the deer into the velveting shed. He's learned to keep a safe distance. Steam watches as this pup is trained just like he was. Andy doesn't let his dogs work with deer until they're 2. The pole he uses helps the dogs understand the difference between left and right. He also teaches them to bark loudly on command.
A Huntaway should never bite, and he uses his voice. A collie uses their eye, a Huntaway uses their voice and barks to get the sheep to do what they want.
Steam has these stags under control.
Come behind, Steam.
But later today, he'll have to move a group he's never met. If they don't respect him, it could be very dangerous. The Huntaway is a 100-year-old breed created for its stamina and loud bark. Considered a part of New Zealand's heritage, they're used throughout the islands to drive and manage the massive flocks of sheep.
Out of the way.
Because of their high work drive, Huntaways aren't usually kept as pets. When there are no livestock to herd, Andy does other chores. Steam's a worker, not a watcher.
We can have a day fixing fences or cleaning sheds and those sorts of things. When you're doing other work, he just wants to be out there working away. He wants to be the centre of attention. He wants to be part of the team. He wants to be doing things, and he doesn't want you to be doing things without him. So he wants to have his presence felt all the time. So he can be a bit annoying. It's one of his little quirks.
Steam has to move this group of deer to a new pasture. They've never seen Steam before. If they don't respect him, it could be life-threatening.
When we introduce Steam to a new group of deer, you never know what's going to happen. If he gets within 20 yards and upsets things, and a hind comes out to attack him, then he won't be able to get away in time.
Steam recently had a close call with some hinds, or female deer.
Just last week in this very paddock, we had to move a large group of hinds. We had to move them down through a gate on the far side of the paddock over here, and Steam got too close. He went up within 10 yards because we'd been working younger deer, and he can get in a lot closer to younger deer. And I had to very quickly get him out of a very sticky situation. So it required me to run around the hill and get between him and the deer. And I only just made it in time.
Andy and Steam are relieved. Steam got the new group of deer to a fresh paddock without being challenged.
Stand there.
Steam works from 7 in the morning until 6 at night.
At the end of the working day, Steam he's tired, but if I asked him to do more, he would certainly do more. He's the #1 member of the team, and he does more work than I do. I just ask him to do work, and when I ask, he does it. So, you know, he's fantastic with that. He's a working dog, and he wants to work. That's his life, my life as well. So Steam's stuck with me for the rest of his life.
At the heart of the U.S. Capitol, this anonymous-looking building houses the headquarters of the United States Secret Service. The Secret Service has two all-important missions: protecting the president and protecting the currency. In their fight against counterfeit currency, the Secret Service deploys a special agent. He's an 8-year-old Dutch Shepherd named Mike. Mike and his handler, Jamie Solis, work under the supervision of Special Agent Robert Villanueva.
We consider Mike sort of a special agent himself. He is part of our canine program, and he's part of the Secret Service family, and he's a vital asset to our investigative mission. The reason Mike is special is because he is the first canine in the world that is trained in the detection of counterfeit U.S. currency.
Mike just got back from 6 months in Colombia, where much U.S. counterfeit originates. He uncovered over $5 million in phony bills that led to the arrest of over 20 smugglers. Mike's detective work makes headlines, and a sure sign of fame, showing up in an editorial cartoon. Mike was trained under a Secret Service pilot project 6 years ago. The project's future was uncertain, but today they're expanding the program abroad because of Mike's achievements.
In the country of Colombia, for example, we have a canine team which is located at the airports and international ports of entry and exit, which are trained in the detection of counterfeit U.S. currency.
In this training exercise to test Mike's ability, a Secret Service agent places a few counterfeit bills in a plastic envelope, hides it inside a book, and puts the book into a briefcase. The agent then stows the briefcase in a cabinet. Will Mike detect the bills through all these layers? When our detective's handler, Jamie Solis, pulls out Mike's reward, a towel, it signals to Mike it's time to get to work.
So he starts sniffing when I give him the command. And that command is to seek, simply to find it. Well, Mike will lead me while I'm working. If there's any area that he does miss, I will redirect him.
Mike must search the entire floor. He's trained to search from the ground up. Jamie directs Mike where to sniff by using hand signals.
What Mike does when he does detect counterfeit currency, he'll simply sit.
Mike is trained to recognize the scent of counterfeit currency. When he finds a stash, he's rewarded with play.
Well, Mike was trained to detect counterfeit currency by associating the odor of counterfeit currency with the towel. That is the reason why Mike has such intense work drive. It's because he wants to play. He wants to play with that towel, and it's all a tug-of-war game once he receives the towel. And so it's just a game. That's all right.
Little known outside Holland, the Dutch Shepherd is an excellent working dog, very similar to the Belgian Malinois. As Mike's history-making achievements show, Dutch Shepherds can be taught to identify almost any unique scent. The exact odor Mike's detecting when he's sniffing out counterfeit cash is classified information.
You know, I can't really tell you how he detects the counterfeit money. He works for the Secret Service.
Today, the Secret Service is sending Mike out onto the National Mall. A tourist has smuggled a large amount of counterfeit currency into the capital. Tracking the culprit down is a job for Mike and Jamie.
Well, when Mike and I are conducting actual searches in the field, it's an adrenaline rush. I know he's working, and when he does respond, I know it's going to be an actual case.
Mike plays it cool. These tourists have no idea he's eliminating them as suspects.
When we're working with the public, we don't want to have an aggressive dog. We don't want to hurt anyone. He'll sniff the bags. That's all we want to see is a response, positive response. Mike will simply sit.
Good, sit.
Mike alerts to this tourist by sitting, and Secret Service agents step in to check him out.
Excuse me, sir. I'm Special Agent Nowak, and this is Lieutenant Warden with the Secret Service. Can we have a word with you for a moment? Sure.
The tourist is a Secret Service agent, and the counterfeit money was planted by the Secret Service as a training exercise to make sure Mike was on the ball. And once again, Special Agent Mike rose to the challenge. After years of teamwork, Mike and Jamie's partnership is stronger than ever.
Mike and I have been working together for 6 years, and there's no other person I spend more time with than with Mike. He and I have a bond like he is like my son. That's the kind of bond we have. And in the Secret Service, there's an adoption program in which after a service dog has retired, the handler has the option to take the dog home and have him as a pet. Right now, he's a government-owned dog, but when he retires with me, he's going to be a personally owned dog. Hi, Mike.